Shakim Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakwadash, and double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful like this out there, listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom. So this is Ezekiel, the 4th chapter, verse 13. And Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Okay? We know that us Israelites, as so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, throughout history, have been, driven into these lands of these different Gentiles to serve captivity. And under these different Gentile nations, okay, we have eaten defiled bread. Okay, but especially in America, man, this is the main place where we're eating defiled bread. Okay, all the food around you is defiled, man. Okay, and I made a video earlier when I was at the store, because oftentimes I talk about all these ingredients that they put in your food, but when you go on Google Images, it just doesn't cut it, because they don't really put it on there. You got to really search. So I said, well, hell, let me take my phone out and start recording these different things I see at the grocery store, man. So I'm gonna go ahead. It's a long video, so I'm gonna skip through, but I'm gonna just start with these different these different things that you would see at the grocery store that one would think are healthy, right? Artichoke bruschetta, right? Creamy artichoke spread. It sounds like a vegetable, right? It must be good for you, right? Well, let's go into it, man. Okay, boom, right there. We're just going to pause it right there, man. Ingredients. Artichoke. All right, sounds decent. Sunflower oil. There's those seed oils, which I made a whole lesson on seed oil. They're poisonous. They cause inflammation in your arteries and heart attacks. Okay? All type of things. Inflammation. Okay? Onions, salt. Okay? Doesn't sound too bad. The salt is probably, if it just says salt, it's usually bad, because it's, I forget how they make it a certain type of way. And it's not as clean as sea salt, which is, sea salt or pink Himalayan salt. But nevertheless, water, distilled cane vinegar, garlic, parsley, citric acid. Now, the citric acid you get from stores is not from oranges or lemons. It's from black mold. Okay? Because, again, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, cares about profit more than he does about human life. Okay, so he does everything the cheapest, most legalistic way possible, so he doesn't get sued, but so that he can still make money at a high rate and cut corners and cut costs wherever he can. Okay, citric acid. Ascorbic acid, and they say, oh, it's just vitamin C, right? Well, I got curious, because I know the spirit of Esau. I know this is bullshit. Why would you add something healthy to food? He's not in the business of adding anything healthy. And if he adds something healthy, it's because he got in trouble for making something unhealthy. So he thought, well, let me put it back in the food. Okay? The reason they put vitamin C in your food is as a preservative. I got this website pulled up going into ascorbic acid. Okay? It says the vitamin C properties of ascorbic acid make it an excellent ingredient for vitamin supplementation. Simply adding ascorbic acid to food increases the vitamin C content. Since naturally occurring vitamin C, here we go. Since naturally occurring vitamin C is easily destroyed. Why? Because vitamin C, you have to eat. Okay, when you buy fruit, you got to eat it or else it'll spoil, right? If you cook, let's say you get fruit and you boil it, you try to make jelly out of it, you kill the vitamin C. Vitamin C, I believe, is killed by heat. Okay? And when they process all this bullshit, there's a lot of heat going on. There's a lot of sitting on the shelf. That's why they put all these fucking preservatives, because it's going to sit on the shelf forever until they sell it. and they don't want to throw it away, and they don't want to lose any profit. So they rather put this ascorbic acid because the original vitamin C is gone. So they, Esau, being the devil he is, has tricked the population into thinking, well, if I just put the vitamin C back in, it's just as good. But no, we're going to read on. It says, many foods are fortified with ascorbic acid to replenish the vitamin C content. Right, the vitamin C that is now destroyed from sitting on the shelf. Ascorbic acid is often added to fruit juices, dried fruit. Right, because your fruit juices, you would think fruit juice has vitamin C. It did before it was turned into a concentrate and then water was added back in. Okay, dried fruit, because again, they went through that heating process. It's been sitting on the shelf. Cereal and other snack foods for this purpose. Okay, now look at this. I went on the internet, on Google, I typed, are there different types of vitamin C? AI overview. Yes, there are several different types of vitamin C. While they all provide antioxidant and immune benefits, they vary by chemical structure, absorption rates, and stomach tolerance. Is this maybe why some of you have stomach pain? Check out the primary types of vitamin C you'll find in supplements and skincare. Ascorbic acid. This is the same one that we see here. Okay, now what does it say? It says, also known as L-ascorbic acid, this is the pure, naturally occurring form of vitamin C. It is the most common and affordable type, but can be highly acidic, which may cause digestive discomfort in sensitive individuals. Okay, so, hey, you see that right there? It could cause stomach pain. How much ascorbic acid are they adding? Remember, they're not adding this back in because it's good for you. It's a preservative. Okay, but too much of anything can be bad. Okay, now I got to look more into this because they say it's the naturally occurring. So let's look it up. What form of vitamin C is in raw fruits? The form of vitamin C naturally found in raw fruits is L-ascorbic acid. This is primarily the biological active form of the vitamin that the human body requires. Some fruits naturally contain small amounts of dehydroascorbic acid, which is oxidized version of L-ascorbic acid. Once consumed, the human body can easily convert dihydroascorbic acid back into active L-ascorbic acid. So active L-ascorbic acid. Okay, why does the ascorbic acid in fruits stop being active but not in processed food? Because you got to think, what happened to the original ascorbic acid? Why did they have to add the same ascorbic acid back in? Okay, maybe it was destroyed during processing. Okay, but how do they make the ascorbic acid? They say it's the naturally occurring one. Do they make it out of black mold like they do with the citric acid? Ascorbic acid stops being active, nutritionally potent in fresh fruits due to natural enzymes and exposure to air. In contrast, the pure ascorbic acid added to processed food is typically more stable because these natural enzymes have been neutralized and the food is often packaged to limit oxygen exposure. Okay, but how much are they adding? Are they adding too much? There could be such a thing as too much vitamin C. And again, where did it come from? Okay, now let's move on to the next example because this is just one example. Alright, look at this. Jalapenos. It must be good for you, right? Jalapeno peppers. Water, distilled vinegar, sea salt. Well, that's a plus. Calcium chloride. Let's just type it in. See what we get. Calcium chloride is an inorganic highly soluble salt. Widely used across various industries, it acts as a drying agent, a food firming additive, a concrete accelerator, and a powerful de-icer capable of melting ice at very low temperatures. Okay, so there's a lot of funny stuff going on here. Safety precautions. Skin and eye irritant. Because it extracts moisture rapidly, it can cause severe irritation or burns if it touches moist skin or eyes. Okay, is it possible that that could cause you to get dehydrated? Let's look it up. Calcium chloride is a corrosive chemical that absorbs moisture rapidly. Negative health effects include health effects range from mild skin and eye irritation to severe internal burns, gastric necrosis, and cardiac disturbances if ingested. Exposure to this chemical requires careful handling and prompts first aid. Okay, and they're putting this in your food. Okay, now, of course, they say there's a limit to how much of these chemicals they can add, but that's just to that one food, right? So they can only add so much calcium chloride to these jalapenos. But let's say you go and eat a frozen pizza later, and then you go and eat some pickles, and both of those have the same chemical, calcium chloride. Okay, now you're getting more of that than they intended, and now your body's fucked up, right? Let's read on. Turmeric, sodium metabisulfite. Sodium, let's get it. Sodium metabi. I gotta Salakia. I don't even know how to spell that. Metabisulfite. Metabisulfite. This is how we learn. We gotta dig in, see what it is. Sodium metabisulfite is a versatile inorganic. Well, what's an inorganic compound? We've heard that already twice. What does that mean? Does it mean it's not found in nature? Okay, let's talk about something else. But anyway, let's read on. It says a versatile inorganic compound used widely as a food preservative, antioxidant, and disinfectant. It works by releasing sulfur dioxide gas, which prevents bacterial growth and enzymatic browning. Okay, so is it like to kill bacteria? Okay, well, we have good bacteria in our bodies. We don't want to kill those. Okay, but these devils, they want to preserve the food so that they can make profit. It says, though it can trigger severe respiratory reactions in individuals with asthma. Hey, you see, all these chemicals we looked at so far can cause problems, okay? Used as an additive in dried fruits, all right? All right, toxicity. So we heard about the asthma. Toxicity and irritation. Pure sodium metabisulfate powder is highly toxic if inhaled and is corrosive to eyes, skin, and mucosal tissues, right? So, you know, a little bit of poison here, a little bit of poison there. It doesn't kill you, but it adds up. All right, and the only reason they added this is to do what? Added as a color stabilizer, right? So that it looks good to the eyes so that you will buy their bullshit product. Okay, because you wouldn't buy these jalapenos if they didn't look like jalapenos. If they started looking gray and white, you're like, what the fuck is that? How long has that been sitting in that jar? But see, this devil is a deceiver, man. All right, and the fact that they have laws that allows them to add these things to change the color is complete bullshit, man. Another reason why this devil has to go. We've only looked at 2 products. Let's keep going, man. I'm gonna stop talking, and we're just gonna breeze past a lot of these. Tomato ketchup, all right? Tomato concentrate, right. So what is a concentrate? They get the tomatoes, they dry them out, they grind them up into powder, then they ship it to another factory where they put it all together. They put water, bring it back to life. Why not just use regular tomatoes? You see? Because profit over health, okay? Profit over quality. Anyway, tomato concentrate from red ripe tomatoes, distilled vinegar, high fructose corn syrup, which is a neurotoxin. Let me see if they'll admit it on Google. I did some research years ago. High fructose corn syrup is a liquid sweetener made from starch used in many processed foods and drinks. What is it? An economical sweetener derived from corn syrup. Right, it's about money. Okay, let's keep it going. Why is it used? Cost effective. Yup, it's cheap. Let's go back. Health concerns. Excessive intake of added sugars, including high fructose corn syrup, is linked to weight gain, fatty liver disease, high triglycerides, and increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Right. Okay, and I say it all the time, man. Natural fats are not bad for you, like, grass-fed butter, beef tallow, okay, olive oil. These are natural fats that the Lord created. But these artificial fats like soybean oil, which we saw earlier, canola oil, sunflower oil, any type of oils that come from these seeds, look up the process on how it's made. Okay, there's all type of bullshit in there, and it's incredibly toxic and unbalanced for your body. Okay, which I made a whole video on that. I don't want to make this video 2 hours long or nothing like that. So a lot of the stuff I say, if you don't believe it, hey, just look it up. Which I know a lot of you Akim that are in the know, you believe what I'm saying. All right, but those of you that are new, look it up. Do your own research. Okay, it says an increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Doesn't everybody in America have that shit? Because they're all eating the same foods. You will find high fructose corn syrup in everything. Why does it cause diabetes? Because it doesn't process like regular sugar in your body. Regular sugar, like for example, something natural like cane sugar, processes completely different than high fructose corn syrup. Look that up. How is high fructose corn syrup processed? Okay, but to save a few pennies, okay, they're willing to shorten your life by 30 years. Okay, don't eat nothing with high fructose corn syrup, man. Nothing. Okay, let's get back into it. Corn syrup, salt, spice, onion powder, natural flavoring, which I got to do more research on that. That's a vague term because they could literally get a raccoon and cut out his asshole. Let me keep it real, man. Cut out his intestines and his asshole, grind it up in a blender, and they can call that natural flavoring. And I believe there's a Jake on Instagram that talks about that. Like there's a flavor that comes from the anal cavity of an animal, and they call it natural flavor. I forget. I'll have to look it up at another time. But we're gonna keep going. This is America Babylon, man. Okay, now I showed right here. You can see there's an alternative. Those of you that like ketchup, all right. Those of you that like ketchup, I'm gonna pause it so y'all could buy an alternative. It's how much more expensive is it? Let's see. That's like $3. That one's like $4 and something. Okay, you pay $1 more, but look at these ingredients. That's the one at the top. I didn't show, but it says something natural, whatever. Organic tomato puree. See, it's puree, not concentrate. Organic tomato paste, organic cane sugar, organic white vinegar, salt, organic onion powder, organic chili, Okay, so this one, it's a lot cleaner. It's not perfect, but it's cleaner, right? Let's see. Yeah, because they didn't add sea salt, just regular salt. right? But it's cool. It's not perfect, but in an imperfect world, we do the best we can. So if you can't let go of the ketchup, get you let's see if I can see the brand. I can't see shit because this video's all zoomed in. Here, let me go back, Salakia. Right there, what is that? Smash Kitchen Classic Tomato Ketchup, organic. You know, and even if it says organic, read the ingredients, because sometimes they lie. Only one ingredient is organic and the rest is bullshit. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, we're gonna keep going. We're just gonna grab a few more examples, man. I've already made this lesson very long. But just for those of you jakes that think that food doesn't matter, your diet doesn't matter, it's all mental. Well, guess what? Your mental runs off of this food that you eat. So if you're putting bullshit in your body, it's going into your what? Into your mind. And that's why your mind doesn't work. People think this stuff is just about your organs and your muscles. Nah, your mind is affected. Your ability to think is affected. The most important thing in your body is your brain, man. I think it was Mike Tyson that said your body is just a machine to carry your brain around, or something along those lines. And it's true. Okay? But it's everything. Your sleep, your ability to your heart. But anyway, let's continue. All right. What is that? It's buttermilk ranch, I believe, for salads. So these different companies are catching on that people are learning about, high fructose corn syrup. So it says no high fructose corn syrup, gluten free, no corn syrup. But look at this, soybean oil. Okay, right there, a poisonous fat. So yeah, they got rid of the bad sugar, but you still got that bad fat. Water, sugar, buttermilk, less than 2% of salt, distilled vinegar, monosodium glutamate. Let's look that up. Monosodium glutamate. Okay. Glutamate. Monosodium glutamate is the sodium salt of glutamic acid. It's commonly naturally occurring amino acid. It is widely used in cooking and food manufacture as a flavor enhancer to deliver umami, a savory meat taste. The umami taste.
Glad we're on the same page.
Goddamn Siri, mind your goddamn business. That bitch said, I'm glad we're on the same page. Get the fuck out of here. See? But anyway, damn Satan, mind your business. So like I said, the umami taste, natural versus added. Glutamate isn't just a lab creation that occurs naturally in foods. Health and safety. Let's see. MSG symptom complex. While some people historically reported mild short-term reactions, headaches, or flushing after consuming large amounts of MSG. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Monosodium glutamate. Yeah, I remember. That's MSG. Right? Now, I believe it does occur in food naturally, but what happens when you put way too much? You get a headache, you feel like shit, right? I think they use them a lot in the Chinese restaurants and some of these Arab restaurants. They be using that shit. Okay. So what happens, you're eating these ingredients. You don't know how many hundreds of ingredients you're eating. You think it's just ranch. It's not just ranch. It's ranch and 100 other things. It's not just artichoke dip. It's artichoke dip and 10 other things. You see, so every time you eat something from this place, you get 100 other things you didn't ask for. How do you know how that's reacting in your body? Okay, let's keep it going. And I know that bullshit I got in the cart is probably not the best either, but I've been wanting to make some tostadas. You know, this thing is with balance, man. You can't completely get 100% away from these things. But, you know, get to the point where you're like, what, 90% of the stuff you eat has none of those ingredients in them. You know, this is probably the only processed food I'm eating is those tortilla chips. But anyway, it says, see, what is this? Some type of dressing, right? Water, distilled vinegar, sugar, salt, contains less than 2% of garlic, soybean oil. See, there you go. Xanthan gum, sodium benzoate, calcium disodium, EDTA. Let's look that up. EDTA. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one throughout the years. EDTA is a powerful synthetic chelating agent that binds to metal ions like calcium, iron, and lead. By acting as a molecular claw, it neutralizes these metals. It is widely used in medicine to treat heavy metal poisoning, in labs to preserve blood samples, and in food cosmetics as a what? Preservative. Okay? So what happens when the metals bind to it and you're eating that shit? Okay? What else? What else does it say? Let's see, what was the other one? We had another one in there. Could erase these for now. Sodium benzoate, calcium disodium. Calcium disodium. Oh, it's calcium disodium EDTA. Slightly different than just EDTA. Safety. When swallowed, it is very poorly absorbed by the digestive tract, which makes it safe in the minute quantities regulated by the FDA. The maximum acceptable daily intake is set by the FDA as 0.9 milligrams per pound of body weight. Again, if you eating a lot of this shit, it's going to kill you over time. Okay? Let's keep going. Not going to dwell on that too long. We got a lot of other ones to watch. Like I said, I'm going to have to skip through some of these. Yeah, it's fat-free, but you got all this other bullshit in it. Don't read the label. Read the ingredient list. Alright? Alright, what is this? Seasoning packet. That's not going into too much. Alright, what is this? Brown gravy. Brown gravy, 30% less sodium. Look at this. Let's get into that real quick. Boom. Niacin, iron, thiamine, mononitrate, riboflavin, folic acid. We go on and on, man. Disodium inosonate. All right, we weren't designed to have all these preservatives in our body, man. Alright, we're going to look at some Hot Pockets. These are the main ones that people like, right? Hot Pockets. Let's get into it. Hot Pockets, Philly cheesesteak. Look at that. Lord have mercy. You see that shit? That is some bullshit. Take a picture of that. Spin it around. Okay. What we got right there. Lord, well, I could look at it. Shit. Can't really do nothing there. God damn it. I'm gonna just, you could turn this to the side. I'm just turning my head to the side. But it says, damn, that's a long list. I'm not even gonna read all that. Hey, this proves the point right there, man. Just look at the list. We don't have to go into these. We'll be here all day. All right, let's keep going. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. Is it just peanut butter and jelly? Or is it peanut butter, jelly, and dog shit? Let's see. Soybean oil. Ascorbic acid, that fake vitamin C, or artificially added. They say it's from natural sources, but what sources? Is there traces of other chemicals in it? Same thing with any of these ingredients. You can't fully trust it. Calcium peroxide, peanut butter, peanuts, sugar. Contains 2%. Okay, so the peanut butter is not just peanuts ground up. It's peanuts, sugar, fully hydrogenated vegetable oils, rapeseed, and soybean, which they did a whole documentary on rapeseed. Causes heart attacks. Salt, molasses, grape jelly, sugar, grape juice, pectin, citric acid, potassium sorbate. I forget what potassium sorbate is. It's a preservative. Let's look it up. Potassium sorbate. A widely used odorless and tasteless salt that serves as an effective antimicrobial preservative in food, beverages, and cosmetics. Side effects. Adverse reactions are exceedingly rare, though it can occasionally trigger mild allergic contact dermatitis in sensitive individuals using personal care products. U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the European Food Safety Authority classify potassium sorbate as generally recognized as safe. Okay, generally. Okay. Yeah, ain't nothing safe about that, man. Let's see what else. All type of bullshit. Okay. Some type of chicken sandwich. Okay. Some type of chicken sandwich. Spicy chicken sandwich. I'm not even gonna pause it. Look at that. It's upside down for whatever reason. But you could already see all them ingredients, man. We're gonna skip forward. Alright, these might be hard to believe. Tortillas, right? Soft tortillas. Look at that. Pause that. Of course, hydrogenated soybean oils. Sodium acid phosphate, pyrophosphate, calcium propionate. Calcium propionate. Let's look it up. An organic salt. Okay. Sodium acid pyrophosphate. Let's look it up. Oh, somebody put dangers. Let's see what that says. Sodium pyrophosphate is a widely used food additive and leavening agent. While the U.S. And why would you need leavening? It's a fucking flat tortilla. You see? While the U.S. Food and Drug Administration classifies it generally recognized safe, it carries specific risks depending on the consumer's health. Kidney disease, bone health, digestive stress. You see? Just from eating a goddamn soft tortilla. Okay, and all type of other shit. Sorbic acid. The hell is that? Sorbic acid. Naturally occurring unsaturated fatty acid. Because it is a fatty acid, the body metabolizes it similar to other natural fats. While largely non-toxic, direct contact with pure undiluted sorbic acid can cause mild to moderate skin, eye, and respiratory irritations. Alright? All type of shit that we aren't supposed to be dealing with. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hamburger helper. See this shit? What does it say? All the bullshit they put in the pasta. Okay. Pasta shouldn't be enriched pasta. It should be what was it? Semolina flour, and that's it. When you buy the one that's decent. But here they use the enriched version, which is fucked up. So they gotta add all this extra nutrients back in. And these nutrients, they're gonna gather them the cheapest way possible. Okay. What else? Whey, right? Why they gotta add whey? Onion, natural and artificial flavors with soy lecithin, maltodextrin. What's that? Maltodextrin. Get it. Highly processed plant-based white powder used as a food additive and a thickener. Okay. Health considerations. Blood sugar spikes. Why does everybody in America have diabetes? I wonder why. Despite not tasting sweet, maltodextrin acts like glucose in the body. It has a very high glycemic index, so on and so forth. Okay. Y'all get the point. Potassium chloride, yeast extract, vegetable oil. Vegetable oil, there you go. Poison. Monodiglycerides, same thing. It's like some type of weird vegetable oil. Monodiglyceride. Don't eat monodiglycerides. Glyceride. Let's see, what is that? A class of lipid fats made of one fatty acid chain attached to a glycerol molecule. They act as emulsifiers to bind oil and water together. Yeah, well, oil and water ain't supposed to mix. But why y'all trying to mix it? You see? Generally recognized as safe. While often derived from plant oils, they can also be sourced from animal fats like lard or tallow. There you go. They're slipping pork into your food without you knowing it. Okay? What does it say in Leviticus, real quick? I mean, we know, but for edification, right? Leviticus 11:7, and the swine, the pig, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean unto you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and of their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Hey, defiled food, man. That's the defiled food. They slipping pork into hamburger helper right there. Okay? Because you don't know. It could come from tallow. It could come from lard. Whatever their cheap asses have on hand at the moment, probably lard. That's what they're going to be using in the majority of these boxes. Whatever the fuck they got on hand. Alright? And that's only one product that says that. All these other Salakia, that's not the only product. There's many other products that have that ingredient. Just buy fucking pasta. Buy ground beef. Buy slices of cheese. Read the ingredients so you know it's just cheese. You know, not cheese and extra shit. Don't buy American cheese. Just buy regular cheddar. regular beef, regular pasta. Throw the pasta in a pot of boiling water. Strain the water out. Throw the pasta in a bowl. Cook the beef, right? Throw the cheese on top with your seasonings. Throw all that together. Boom, you got the most delicious, cheaper food than this. Without poison, man. Alright, but anyway, let's keep going. There you go. All these brands fucked up. Now look, mashed potatoes. It's just mashed potatoes, right? Wrong. Idaho potato, vegetable oil, coconut, sunflower, soybean, maltodextrin, dry corn syrup, salt, sugar, non-fat dry milk, butter, cream, and salt. Okay, so they'll put a little bit of real fat butter. Butter is okay. Alright, grass-fed butter preferably. Mono and diglyceride. There they go with that weird shit. Alright, calcium, sterile lactylate, natural flavors, fresh and preserved by sodium acid pyrophosphate, sodium bisulfate, citric acid, and mixed tocopherols. Just buy a fucking potato, throw it in the microwave for 8 minutes, put some butter and some seasoning on it. It's the same thing. You don't need this bullshit in your life. Let's keep it going. Shit. What else? Okay, this is heavy cream. Heavy cream is delicious, but sadly, you're not going to find real heavy cream at the store. But you can choose the better of three evils, okay? Cream should be the only fucking ingredient. But you got cream, milk, non-fat dry milk, stabilizer, right? Because they cheap. They don't want to use pure cream. They're going to put cream and milk and dry milk, and so they could make more volume and sell more. Then they add them diglycerides to make the oil and the water mix, right? The water that's in milk. Carrageenan is terrible for your gut. I had a family member who had developed stomach problems because of this ingredient. Look up carrageenan. Absolutely terrible. Alright. Carrageenan is a common seaweed-derived food additive used as a thickener and stabilizer, considered controversial because researchers link it to gastrointestinal distress, inflammation, and leaky gut syndrome. People with sensitive digestion or inflammatory bowel disease often experience worse symptoms when consuming it, right? And people that don't have those problems will develop them problems eventually, all right? Don't be simple. Oh, well, I don't have a bad side effect. Not yet. Keep shoveling it down your throat and you will. All right, let's keep going. Y'all already see polysorbate 80, a bunch of other bullshit. It's just cream, man. And they don't need a preservative because this came out of the refrigerator, by the way. You don't need preservatives for this. It's just cream. All right, there's another brand that's bullshit. Diglycerides, carrageenan. Okay, now I'm gonna show you the difference. There's another brand that's halfway decent. Okay, this is this you already see it. I'm not gonna say it. Okay, it's labeled as organic. Boom, only 2 ingredients: grade A organic cream and gelin gum. When you look up gelin gum. A versatile food additive, stabilizer, and gelling agent. Has no widely reported negative health impacts for the average consumer. Consuming high amounts of gelling gum may have a mild laxative effect for some individual. Dietary info, straight plant-based. Okay, so it's vegetarian. Now, from what I've heard, it's not the worst thing ever, but you just never know. You know, I'm not drinking bottles and bottles of this shit. Might pour a little bit of my coffee. Might use it to make something once in a while, whatever. But if you're going to buy, my point in making this, man, if you're going to buy any of this shit, buy the shit that has the least amount of ingredients. Okay, the least amount of ingredients possible. Okay? And really, these things should only have one ingredient, or two or three or four, right? Like bread should only have four ingredients. Okay, I should have went to the bakery and showed y'all this demonic ass bread that they got at the grocery store, but I didn't do it. I didn't think about it. Let's see what else. So this one was halfway decent. I ended up getting that one. Let's see what we got. Keep going. Da da da. That's it. That's pretty much it, Akim. So I don't want to ramble on and on and on and on and on and on and on, because I would if you allow me. But again, Ezekiel 4:13, and Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. All right, this is part of our punishment, Akim. But we still got to use wisdom and not eat this poisonous food, man. Okay? Like the scripture says, health is above infinite. Let's get it. Sirach 30:15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Okay, so if you know this to be the case, which we believe that to be the case because the scripture said it, hey, avoid these different food additives, man. Okay, if you're going to make a meal, buy all the ingredients from scratch. All right, don't buy no hamburger helper. Buy yourself some pasta, buy yourself some beef, buy yourself some cheese, buy yourself some seasonings, buy yourself some vegetables, chop them up, throw them together, blah, blah, blah. Don't buy nothing that comes prepared. Don't buy a frozen pizza. Make your own goddamn pizza, man. Now that could be a lot of work, but hey, don't fucking eat pizza then. You're better off, and if, I'm not saying you're going to be perfect with it, but try to avoid it. Make that a way of life. Avoid these different foods, man. These processed foods especially. Okay? A good heart, merry heart, have care, meat and diet. Let's get this real quick, because a lot of you may have depression, anxiety, so on and so forth. It's these different foods, man. I'm telling you. Sirach 30:25, a cheerful and good heart, right? A good mind and a cheerful heart, right, will have a care of his meat and diet. So you take care of your meat and diet, you're gonna be in your right mind. You're gonna be able to focus. You're gonna be able to have that happy chemical, what they call that, dopamine, right? Those of you that are low dopamine, you can't focus, so on and so forth. It's because you're eating bullshit. Okay, your body, it's like, imagine you're trying to ride a bike and I tell you you gotta juggle bowling pins. You can't juggle bowling pins and drive your bike at the same time. Well, that's what you're asking your body to do by eating all this bullshit food and thinking you're gonna go about your life and be a functional human. You are not gonna do that. You won't be able to study in school. You won't be able to be a good athlete. You won't be able to make videos to the best of your ability. Like, dude, I can't be making videos like this if I started eating Cheetos, Fritos, and Doritos every day. Once in a while, I'll have a bag of chips. In the past year, I can count in one hand how many bags of chips I've had in the past 12 months. Okay, that's what you, Akim, want to strive for or even surpass. Maybe some of you have more discipline than me and you can completely get rid of all this bullshit and just eat whole foods. Okay, let's look that up. Whole food. What is a whole food versus a processed food? All right. AI mode. Whole foods are foods that remain in their most natural state with little to no alteration or added chemical ingredients. In contrast, processed foods are deliberately altered from their original state through cooking, baking, formatting, or adding substances like preservatives, sodium, and sweeteners, right? And in the perfect world, you could buy a food that's been cooked and all that without bullshit. But in Esau's world, if it's pre-cooked, pre-packaged, they always add those preservatives. As you saw, man, I didn't find one food in that whole store that didn't have bullshit. Even the heavy cream, it was close, but it still had that gum. Okay? And then one more. Because the FDA, they ought to know better. All these different health agencies that are supposed to approve these foods or disapprove them, they allow these poisonous foods to be approved here in the U.S. because in in Europe, all these ingredients are banned. A lot of them are banned. All right, but even their food isn't perfect. In our kingdom, in the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, we're not going to have all these chemicals in our food. We're not going to have any chemicals, man. It's going to be the whole food, and you either eat it now or, let it spoil. We're not going to be preserving foods in a bullshit way in the kingdom. We're going to do things the right way. All right, this is Psalms 94:20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? That's what Esau does. He frames mischief through his laws. Okay, and this is one example, man. The food industry, man. A for-profit food industry that destroys your health. Okay? All right, and instead of cracking down on these corporations who are poisoning the people, they allow them to add poison in small amounts. Oh, well, it doesn't kill them right away, then you're good. Oh, well, you can't get sued because there's no way to prove that it fucked you up, then you're good. You can keep adding it to the food. You see? That's how these devils roll, man. So like the scriptures say, the Lord is going to give us a king that is righteous, roughly paraphrasing, because these Edomites are wicked, man. That's why the people are mourning. The people of the earth are having depression, anxiety, health problems. Okay? Their libido doesn't work anymore because Esau put so many fucking chemicals in the food. Right? Verse 3, an unwise, Sirach 10 and verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Right? This unwise ruler Esau is destroying his own people. Hey, these GMO babies, these are the same niggas that Esau wants to send to go fight his war in Iran. Okay, well that's going to be on him, man. He weakened the people. All people, man, especially Jake, but even Esau is eating this bullshit food now. Okay, so that trap they set up for us is falling on them too. Okay, but verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Here we go, the point. Verse 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. That's right. And that one who is profitable is Yahushai. Okay, so we need Yahushai. Okay, yes, Akim, avoid these chemicals to the best of your ability. Get in the habit of reading the ingredients. But at the same time, understand that we're still being poisoned regardless. The beef you buy is filled with antibiotics. Even the organic grass-fed is not perfect. Yes, it's better than the other shit, but those cows still aren't the way that our cows in the kingdom are going to be. Okay? The organic fruits and vegetables are not going to be perfect like in our kingdom. Okay, so we need Yahushai. Okay, we need Yahushai. Do the best you can until the Lord returns with this food stuff, but understand that we do need salvation. This is not our rest. Okay, Micah 2 and 10, this is not our rest. So come out of this place spiritually, step out of the matrix, and understand what it is, understand that it is, or what it is. Okay, understand it for what it is, and know that this is not our rest, Akim. Okay, but with that, I want to finish by giving all glory, honor, and praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rachakodash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere shalom to the hopeful elect that's out there listening, learning, and or teaching in truth and sincerity. Shalom wa. Abad babal. Shalom.